This episode is brought to you by the members of the You Run Podcast Network. A place where everyone is a loved member of the podcasting community. To link up with these shows and find your next podcast addiction, visit yourunpodcast.com.
You wanna die tonight?
Late at night, I tune into your show, where you talk horror with a unique flow. Your voice is like sirens, draws me in, as you pick apart movies on murder and sin. Scott and Marc set the scene. I hang on every word lost in the screen. Your passion for fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Marc's fucking long roundups. You run podcast, horror movie review, sharing facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after you fled. You run podcast. You run podcast.
Giggity giggity, giggity goo. Stick around.
Hello and welcome to the You Run Podcast Horror.
Try that again.
Yeah, hello and welcome to the You Run Podcast Horror Movie Review. My name is Scott,
My name is Marc.
and rumours of our demise after the clusterfuck that was last week's episode are greatly exaggerated. We are back with a brand new episode. If you are new to the show and you didn't listen last week, we are a horror movie review show that bring you weekly episodes on a Tuesday of movies selected by you on our Instagram page. We give you a synopsis and our review of the movie, followed by a score. Then we dive into everything we loved and everything we hated about the movie. We also have interactive features. Today we have 3-word reviews. And today we're playing a game of box office, which we've not played for so long. And we're doing the Halloween edition, where Marc can try and work out which Halloween movie made the most money and which ones made more than his favorite ones, which will honestly annoy him more than this entire episode.
Thing is, as well, I'm probably going to be really, really bad at that game because I'm going to think of it as my favorites and which one I think's better. Therefore, it should have made more money.
Which is
really
is
going to
the
break my heart where Halloween 4 comes on this list. I tell you.
honestly, that's exactly how I want you to play this, because you'd be like, "Oh yeah, that made $100 million." Like, no, it made 7. It made 7, Marc. Before we get too far ahead of us, we are covering one of my personal favorites. It is Halloween 3: Season of the Witch. And I know Marc takes issue with the fact that this is my favorite Halloween movie. So I'm going to give a disclaimer now. On this episode, Marc is probably at times going to become quite animated and quite, should we say, feisty?
Yeah, I can imagine that's the way this episode is going to go. I mean, for those of you who were here last week, I can't imagine it reaching those levels. However, it's going to be an infuriating episode for me. I know that.
Yeah, for me, it's going to be great. Gone is Michael Myers, as John Carpenter and Deborah Hill finally get to execute their initial plan for the Halloween franchise, an anthology story where each single film tells a different story about a favorite holiday, with a plan then for any that were really successful to do spin-offs of. That didn't happen, but hey, that was their plan. Halloween 3 sees doctor, detective, fighter, lover, hero, and raging alcoholic Dan Chalice put all of his talents to use to help the daughter of a patient find out why her father was screaming, "They're going to kill us all!" just before his death. Their investigation leads to the worst mask-making company in the world, because they have 3 masks. Like, we have more fucking T-shirts on our shop than they have product lines. The Silver Shamrock Company and their director's evil plan to massacre millions of children across the United States with booby trap masks that makes no sense whatsoever because of, well, time zones. The film is wild. The plot makes no sense. The characters are all over the top. There's magic, there's science, there's man and fembots. not to mention more daddy issues than you can shake a stick at, and some of the best kills in the entire franchise. All of those reasons are why this is my
He's trying to
favorite
bite
Halloween.
my tongue, but come
Yeah,
on, fuck
no,
off.
all of those reasons are why this is my favorite Halloween movie. John Carpenter and Deborah Hill done everything in their power to pull no punches and make this the most bonkers shit of the early 80s, while still allowing a few on-screen performances from Michael Myers, both on TV screens and in person, kind of. No notes. This is 5 out of 5. Nothing will change my mind. It is the best. It is the perfect Halloween movie, and I absolutely fucking love it. Where are you? I don't know if Mark's frozen or he's just paused with rage, and I'm not entirely sure which. He was frozen with rage, but now he's back.
Yeah, I had to take a moment then. You are a fucking idiot, my friend. Like, what are you even talking about? This is not a 5 out of 5 movie. We have had
Yeah.
some incredible movies on this show, and this is not even anywhere close in comparison, let alone it being that worthy of a 5-star in the Halloween franchise. That is mental. And I feel like you're just doing it to get my back up and rage me up, because this movie is ridiculous on all levels, right?
Yeah.
Here's my history with the franchise. I'm a big Halloween guy. Most of you who listen week in, week out will know that this is my wheelhouse. I love the Halloween movies, mainly the Michael Myers timeline, excluding this piece of dog shit. Now, I know it has its fans, and the interesting thing about it is I've not watched this movie up until, was it 2 years, 3 years ago, maybe, when you like basically forced me to watch it. And that was the first time I've ever watched that movie. And that's me growing up with the Halloween movies, living and breathing Michael Myers since I was like 12 years old. I always knew that Halloween 3 didn't include him and was its own thing. And it didn't interest me, so I never watched it. Scott made me watch it a few years back, and I genuinely liked it. I thought it was an interesting movie with some interesting ideas, but it wasn't executed very well. So I did give it a fair review that time around and said what my initial reaction was to it. And I thought, you know what? I've been a bit harsh on this. It's not actually that bad. However, this being the second time I've now had to watch Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, I knew what went on in this movie. So none of the intrigue or the surprises of which direction it was going to go in were prevalent to me, because I already knew how the story played out. So I didn't get that curiosity from, ooh, that's an interesting angle. Ooh, I wonder why he's spewing yellow blood and set himself on fire in the car. That's really strange. I already knew the answers to all of those questions. So for me, watching this movie again for a second time just really showcased how dog shit this film actually is. I was so bored watching this a second time around. I can't stand Tom Atkins. Apart from his role in Night of the Creep, I think that's the best thing he's done. He has a weirdly large head that doesn't fit his body. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, his behavior in this movie is diabolical. And the fact that this noncy, older, crazed, pedophilic doctor should not be around younger women. And his actions in this movie when he has children at home, that he's literally abandoning to go drink a 6-pack of fucking Miller Lights with some young hot broad that he doesn't even know, on the pursuit of trying to find out how her father died. It's like, you're a doctor, dude. Stay in your lane. You're not a police officer. And then things just get even worse from there, I'll be honest with you. There are so many moments throughout this movie where literally nothing happens. Literally nothing happens. And when it does happen, it's boring as shit. There's like 2 kills in it, which again, yeah, they're pretty cool. The practical effects in those moments are all right. But the grand James Bond revealing of the ending is fucking shockingly bad. Shockingly bad. Do you know, like the effects work in it, everything about it is stupid. The only saving grace that this movie has is its ending. And I'll be honest with you, the second time around, it's not even as good as I remember it being. I thought it was fully executed. Like, that was how we were left at the end of the movie. We kind of are and we kind of aren't with the ending of this movie. It's a paused moment where it's like, oh no, maybe he did turn it off in time, or maybe he didn't. The first time I watched it, I was under the illusion that it was a fully executed thing, and then all the kids were dead who had these masks, and these snakes and creatures were all over the place, killing everybody else who was still left standing. That's not the case. There is a moment where this could have just turned off in time. So for me, I don't know. I'm infuriated by my watch of it this time around, and I really can't understand the mass celebration that this movie has. I've always been one of those people that when the first time around I watched it, I jumped on the bandwagon of being like, yeah, if it didn't have the Halloween title, it would probably be more respected within the genre. No, I disagree. This is a Doctor Who episode at best. And even then, it's probably one of the shitter episodes of a season. So, guys, I'm really, really sorry, but this is a 1 out of 5. This movie is.
I don't know what to say other than, yeah, well, this episode's going to be fun. This episode is going to be fun because even though Mark doesn't like it, there is enough in here to fill an episode with entertaining conversation. Like there really, really is.
I think so.
Let's take a quick break and then we will dive into all of the things that I love and evidently all of the things that you hate.
Got a favorite movie on your mind? Imagine showing that to someone for the first time. Well, grab your popcorn and find a good spot and tune your ears into the reaction shot. Hosted by Dave, a true movie buff. He brings on a guest who hasn't seen the stuff. Fresh eyes, big laughs, from the wild to sublime. It's a first time watch every single time.
When the midnight hour's creeping near and you're looking for a dose of cinematic fear, don't turn the lights, don't look behind. We've got the perfect horror show to ease your mind. Turn up the volume, turn the lights down low. It's under the floorboards, the ultimate show. With John and Eric breaking down the front, from classic monsters to the indie night.
So make sure you go and check out yourunpodcast.com. There you'll find links to all of the members of the You Run Podcast Network. There's everything from interviews with celebrities to deep dives into TV series and film. There's true crime. There's literally a little bit of everything for everyone. While you're there, you'll also find links to all of our socials. We're at You Run Podcast everywhere. Instagram's where you want to go if you want to vote on the movies and vote movies in like this that irritate Mark. You can also go to our other socials like TikTok and Threads and Slasher and all of the other ones. We're literally everywhere. The most important link on that page is our Patreon link. On there, you get exclusive episodes. You get a whole different show with me and Mark where we just go off the rails. It's You Run Extra. We kind of do whatever we wanted. So if you listened last week, it's like that, but with me and Mark drunk talking about random topics. We also have a new show that is now on there, which is You Run Recap, where I go back and look at the movies we've covered before and give you a run through of the movie and my thoughts on a rewatch. There's just an absolute ton of stuff. You also get this episode about a week early with no ads, so you don't hear any of this. So go and check out all of those things. And like I said, you don't have to listen to the ads, so you won't have to hear more ads like this one.
You will never forget. Sunday, the 12th of July, Oasis Academy, Southampton. Thrilling entrances, jaw-dropping moves and raw intensity. Plus former WWE superstar Scotty Too Hottie. To book tickets, go to wrestling.co.uk.
Did you listen to the words? Scotty Too Hottie from WWE is going to be at that event. Go to kapowwrestling.co.uk, book your tickets for that event. And if you can't get to that event, have a look at all the other events they've got. They've got absolutely loads all up and down the country. If you do go to that event, you'll get to see me. I'm going to be front row. I'm going to be there with my son and my missus and loads of other people. There's a big gang of us going. So come down, have a beer, watch the wrestling, buy a backstage pass and go and meet Scotty Too Hottie, because I'll definitely be doing that just to get the photo of the two hottest, Scottiest people on the planet together.
Sorry.
Yeah. Make sure you do that. Make sure you check out all the members of the You Run Podcast Network, and every single thing you need is at yourunpodcast.com. Let's talk about this. I want to talk about the very, very opening. The CRT TV title sequence with this pumpkin being built. I love this film unconditionally, but fuck me, this takes forever, and it is the most boring shit opening of any Halloween movie.
Bullshit, man. This opening is fucking awesome. And this
Oh,
is what's
fuck
going to
off.
annoy me about this episode, right? Because you're going to pick highlighted moments where I'm going to be like, yeah, that was cool as shit. Just know there are moments in this movie that I do like. And there are things that are very cool, but it doesn't justify the bullshit that comes with it. This opening is incredible. Like, I really like John Carpenter's score, the Chariots of Fire thing that he's got going on
Yeah.
with it. It's fucking wicked. And I like the analog style opening to this movie. It sets the tone that this is going to be a very different take to something that we're used to with the Halloween movies. And I really like how it was incorporated again as a sort of stepping stone to the audience for when Halloween Ends came out, you know, and they used the same stuff as if to say, right, look, this isn't what you're going to be expecting. This is our sort of Halloween 3. And I like the way that they use the opening from this to highlight that. But I like the opening, you know, I think it's pretty cool. And you are right, it does drag on a bit, but it's very synthwave, it's very retro, it's very analog. And for me, you know, I'm here for all that shit. And I thought it was quite cool. And that was the one element of this movie that I didn't begrudge rewatching.
Which is incredible. The one thing you loved is the bit I'm like, that bit's shit. Why is that there?
That sounds about right.
We open with this junkyard chase. This guy, Harry, runs into effectively a junkyard where he's chased by a man in a suit. I want to say, like, he gets wrestled to the ground and he drags this block out of this car. This is the most, like, we had this in Urban Legend and we joked saying it was like Austin Powers. This is the most that car would not have killed a small child, let alone an android, at the pace it was at. It barely touched him.
No, and no, certainly not. He could have just put his arm out, but again, he's a robot, and I don't know. Does cheap metal crush easier than a human? I like, for fuck's sake, here we go. I like the opening to this, and I like the setup to this. I'm a big Miami Vice fan, and I always loved the Miami Vice scenes in that TV show where it was like night shots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like this opening of him running under the tunnel and getting into the scrapyard and stuff like that, it's cool. It looks great. It sounds great with John Carpenter's score, and it sets up a very ominous sort of, what the fuck is going on with this movie? Where's Michael Myers? You know, and again, like for me, the first time watching this film, I was all in. I was like, I have no idea what this movie is about. And I think this is a movie that is a fantastic first watch. It's a brilliant first watch because it is a really compelling mystery story as it goes on and proceeds. But it doesn't hold up well on a rewatch when you know exactly where you get to at the end, you know, and all of the bits that you're seeing this time around, you're only highlighting the moments that you're laughing at, like what we're discussing now, that car took 10 minutes before it even came into contact with him. And when it did, it wouldn't have caused the damage it did. But the first time around, I didn't pick up on that stuff. I didn't notice it because I was so enthralled in the story of like the mystery element of it. But again, there is no mystery for me on this rewatch. I'm just picking this movie apart as a filmmaking spectacle. And it's bad. It's fucking bad, man.
It's not. I mean, Harry gets away and he runs off to the gas station. In the gas station, you've got a guy sat there watching the news, and you hear that he's like, breaking news: a stone from Stonehenge has been stolen. And like, that's a stretch. How do you do that? That's a big stone.
Okay,
I hope
I've watched the movie twice now, and that I did not pick up on. I didn't pay attention to that.
I'm like, oh, I hope they explain that later. And yeah, Colonel Cochrane does explain that later, kind of. We'll get to it when we get to it. Also, we get the very, very first play of this.
4 days to Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. It's 4 days to Halloween.
Till the Shamrock.
Hate it.
Of course you hate it. I think the purpose of it is to be hated, though. It's put in here to deliberately be annoying, like one of those viral ads. Like even Dan, like multiple times in this movie, is like, what the fuck is this advert? Why is it on again? There's a bit later where he's having a sex scene. He's like, oh, this advert, like killing the mood. I'm like, yeah, that would really kill the mood as you're sleeping with someone a third of your age, you bad man. Harry does this. They're all going to kill us, and this is where he gets rushed off to the hospital. One thing I want to say, because you didn't even spot the news bit, you definitely didn't spot this. So in that first opening TV bit, you get the news ad. Then as he flicks channels, you get a brief shot of Michael Myers in Halloween, the original Halloween, and then it goes to the Silver Shamrock ad. And then after the Silver Shamrock ad, it jumps again back to Michael Myers before you get him going, they're going to kill us all, clutching the pumpkin, which I thought was cool.
No, the only times I caught the Myers stuff in this was the scene in the bar, and then again later on, where you get the Laurie theme playing, which when it came on, I was like, fuck yeah, this is awesome. But
Yeah,
not for the reasons that I wanted it to be.
Dan Chalice is clearly not a fan of the original either.
No, the way he demolishes that TV upset me. I was like, dude, you've got like an hour. It's a good way to spend an hour.
Now we get introduced to Dan, the real hero of this movie.
No.
He's at his ex-wife's house and the kids are there, and it's kind of this like I'm going to be very careful how I word this. I can understand Dan to an extent. So I have ex-wives.
You know, yeah.
I do. I know this frosty as fuck feeling where you've been around to see the kids and you've bought a gift and you're like, oh, it's the best thing I could afford. Like, I'm doing really well. And your ex is like, yeah, they don't want those shit masks. I bought the fucking good mask, like with the money you're paying me in child support, you fucking scumbag.
There's
like,
a reason you can't afford these decent masks. It's because I'm taking all.
Yeah, so I fully understand why this guy is drinking himself into oblivion, because his ex, I don't care how you cut this, every time she speaks to him, she's a fucking asshole. And I know he's obviously done stuff to deserve it, but fuck me, like there's a point where I'm like, oh man, just like let him be nice to his kids. Like even when they come out from the kitchen, they're like holding a sandwich, like, no children, we don't have food out of the kitchen, and like snatches it off. I'm like, wow, like you're an angry lady. You need to chill out.
It's nice to see Annie back though, which again makes her the only actress to be in all three movies up at this point.
Headcanon for me, it's the same woman, just a different timeline.
Yeah, so she managed to make it in Halloween 1, Halloween 2, and Halloween 3 at this point. Halloween 2, she's wheeled out on the gurney because she died in the first movie, but it's still her. They brought the actress back for it. And then now she's playing evil Dr. Dan's wife in Halloween 3.
Yeah, and again, I think she does a great job. And like this is where he gets the page that this guy Larry's being brought into the hospital. He's like, I need to go. Oh yeah, I've heard all this bullshit before. And he's like, no, like literally, I need to go. Someone's dying. I want to pick up the fact that he is drinking heavily. Like he arrives at the hospital fully lit. Like he is off his tits on a lot of beer. And I don't know, like drinking at work, I think is the way forward.
I 100% agree with you. I feel like some of my best work comes out once I've had a beer.
Yeah, I completely agree. I do take issue with him slapping the nurse's ass.
Like I did think when he did it, I was like, you couldn't do that these days. Like that, I got the playful nature of it. She's a lot older than him, and it was just a charming little saucy kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like there was no intention behind it. You know, it was a flattering thing to do for an older woman, and she liked it and she laughed. You know, but like you would not be able to do that now.
No, you really couldn't. And I like the fact that she does play along with it. She's like, you don't want to be doing that because I will play for keeps and I will take you. But he basically, he gets like Larry settled in his room. He then goes and slaps the nurse's ass, then goes and has to lay down in the doctor's lounge because he's steaming. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
That's relevant.
Yeah. And then we get
especially
to
when
this
you're
again.
65.
Yeah, and then we get to hear this again.
4 days to Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. It's 4 days to Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
The joys. I wonder how often you're going to play that this episode.
I'm not going to do it all the time. This is where we get an android. They are like, it's not revealed till later that they're androids, but they are. The android arrives to kill Larry. This kill is like the most brutal nose job in the world, and it looks fantastic. The thumbs in the eyes and like grabbing the nose and crunch. Look, this is such a good kill.
But how did he kill him? He just broke his nose.
I think it's more the fact that he put his thumb and his finger into his eye and then like snapped his like.
I don't think that'd kill you. I don't think it'd kill you.
Do you not?
Nah. I mean, it hurt. Don't get me wrong. But that's the thing. I didn't know whether he'd done something to just silence him. That was my intention. That was like my takeaway from it. Because I don't think it would kill you. I don't think it would. Like, we've seen some shit in horror movies, man. Do you know what I mean? Like all he did really was, because if he'd have pushed in, I would be like, oh yeah, maybe he's pushing the bone of his nose into his brain. But he didn't. He basically just grabbed it and then rhinoplasted the shit out of his nose and pulled it out from his head. And I was like, well,
yeah, but he's broken that bit of skull behind the nose that holds like your entire face together. He's ripped that and snapped that bit.
Doesn't kill you. I've seen dudes like shoot themselves in the face with a shotgun and have half a head and still live.
Yeah, I think it.
I grew up on fucking, what was that website? It was like Cheese,
rotten.com.
Rotten.com, yeah, or cheese. There was another one. It was like cheese. I can't remember which one it was now. I'm sure somebody's going to call in and let us know or drop us a comment. But yeah, there was another one like cheese something. It was rotten, and then there was another one called cheese, and there was one where you'd go on and see like dead people. It was basically like the internet's first era of faces of death, and yeah, I've seen some horrific shit on that. And to be honest with you, you see worse shit these days on social media, on Instagram and stuff like that, of people getting bombed in the wars and still like walking off with half a head and limbs missing and shit. I just don't feel like this was a justifiable enough kill, in my opinion. The effects work on it, you're right, are very cool. But again, I don't feel like it would kill a man. And then he wiped his hands. Like, there was no trace of blood or evidence, and he's wearing leather gloves. And he still decides to wipe his hands on the curtain. I'm like, dude.
He wanted clean gloves.
Well, that would not clean the gloves. He did not clean his hands properly enough for that to justify cleaning his gloves. He just left evidence is what he did.
He did. And it springs, like the scream of the nurse springs Dr. Chalice into now policeman mode, where he fully chases him down, gets outside. I love it. Like it's a long time since I watched it, but I remember watching this for the very first time. This scene in the car where he sits there, pours petrol over himself and lights himself. I'm like, oh, that's dark as fuck. Like, it's such a good, like, wow, what's he doing? Why has he done that? Who's this assassin? And I get that feeling every time I watch it.
No, you don't. No, you
I
don't.
do.
No, you fucking don't. There's no way you possibly can. No, you're full of shit. No, you don't. I've watched this movie twice. The first time, you're right. I had that reaction. And I was like, wow, that was cool. It doesn't work the second time around.
I like it. It does work. We get a lot of title cards in this. It goes like 27th, 28th, 29th of October in succession that is so fast that they may as well have just set the whole movie 3 days closer to Halloween.
Well, they might as well just set it on Halloween, to be honest with you, and just all unfold on one night, like the rest of the franchise does.
Exactly that. You get Dan in the bar. Dan in the bar. He's a Don. You get Dan in the bar drinking beer, and this is where
what's wrong with you?
This is where Ellie turns up. I like this. Like, Ellie sought him out because he was the doctor who admitted her father, and she's like, look, I really need your help. Like, I need to know what happened. My dad, did he say anything weird? And he was like really nice to start. He was like, no, he just said that he loves you. And she's like, bullshit. Did my dad say that? What did he actually say? And he's like, yeah, he said they were all going to come kill him. She's like, well, I found his diary and this is what it says. And this is what he done. And this is where he goes full on, I'm going to solve this crime. I am Fred from Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, right. So there's elements of this at work because the curiosity side of it from Dr. Don Chalice, I get, because he lives in a very sleepy town. He is completely shocked by what's happened. People just don't die like this in his hospital. And then especially they don't go outside and set themselves on fire in a car. That kind of shit's going to stay with you. You are going to want answers.
Yeah.
I get his curiosity.
Yeah.
But the fucking skill set that these two average people seem to acquire in such a short period of time is mind-boggling. Like, I don't care how curious you are as a person, you're not doing this.
See, there's a bit of this that I think most divorced men in their 50s are doing. I'm quietly confident that most divorced men in their 50s are doing. They don't get to see their kids very often anyway. They're meant to see them one afternoon. There is most divorced men are getting road beers and going to stay in a motel with the woman half their age. They just are. And I know it sounds horrible, but it's the fucking truth. Like after one of my divorces, I did go through a phase where I dated some younger women than me. Not to this extent, but younger than me. And I'd done some wild shit of like, yeah, no, I'm going to pick them up late. And I know that's bad, like now in hindsight, really bad. But at the time, like divorced man, my life's in the gutter, I'm drinking heavily. Younger woman shows up. I get it. I fully understand the decisions he makes.
I've met your older children. Your behavior reflects, I'll be honest with you.
I nearly sprayed beer everywhere then. My children turned out fine. Thank you very much. But I do laugh, like the bit where he's like, yeah, so I'm still going to be there to pick them up tomorrow. But yeah, sorry, the line's really bad. I've got to go. And he picks up that 6-pack. And then like he almost skips to the car, like, I'm going away with the younger woman. Check me out.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I would have probably given him a high five in that moment had I been there. But it's just so implausible, dude. It's so implausible, man. I just don't see it happening. I don't see it being a thing. I don't see this petite young woman being so fucking hell-bent on... Bear in mind, she's already explained to us prior to this that she's very disconnected from her dad and lives in LA, and it's been such a long time since she's seen him. Like, I just don't feel like she would give this much of a shit.
She would, because she's got daddy.
Hey,
issues.
Daddy!
I feel like that's the beginning of this episode.
She's got so many daddy issues. Like, you and your manly mustache, you could be my daddy. That's where her head's at. And I know it's wrong, but it's true. They take a drive to Santa Maria, which is it's like the local Irish province, and everyone there either works for or is involved with the Silver Shamrock Company. I like the fact that it's very Twitchy Curtain. It's very Little Sleepy Village. Oh, there's new people here. The town is actually the same town they used for Invasion of the Body Snatchers as well, which I thought was cool.
That's pretty cool. Better movie as well.
Checking in at the hotel, I am going to question his alibi of, yes, we're husband and wife. Father and daughter was so much more believable, and it was right there.
Definitely. Granddad and granddaughter would have probably even worked in this case.
I did like the fact that the hotel owner at no point went, yeah, this looks dodgy. He's like, okay, husband and wife, yeah, I've got room for you. No problem at all. We also get to meet the Kempfers, Buddy, Betty, and Arsehole Buddy Jr. I like these. We also get to meet Marge Gutman, who's actually the director's wife, who was pregnant at the time of filming this, which, again, really, really cool. No, sorry, she's not the director's wife. She was Tom Atkins' wife at the time. Apologies.
Yeah, director's wife was Addie.
Tom Atkins' wife in the movie. That's why I'm getting confused.
Yes.
Yeah. 6 p.m. curfew. Jamie Lee Curtis makes another appearance in a Halloween movie.
Yep. I mean, I would just take the snippets of all the Halloween segments and just condense it and probably enjoy my experience a lot more than what I did with Halloween Season of the Witch.
You're not very nice. He's a drunk. Like, I don't know how to put this any better. So they have this moment where he's like, yeah, I'm probably going to sleep in the car. She's like, no, that'd be a bit weird. He's like, well, the floor's uncomfortable. She's like,
he never wanted to sleep in the fucking car. He had no intention from the off of sleeping in the car or the sofa. He knew what he was doing. And the chivalry on this man is scandalous.
But he set it up so it was not his idea. She's like, well, where would you like to sleep? He's like, don't do this to me. And she's like, I think here. rubs the bed. And he's like, yes, nailed it, perfect, great. They they have sex, and then they're lying there afterwards, and she like starts to kiss him, and he's like, "Oh, are you not tired?" She's like, no, because I'm not 55, you fucking old prick. Let's do it again. And I
I just
laugh.
don't get it. She is a insanely beautiful woman, very
Yeah.
attractive, very petite, gorgeous, gorgeous woman, fantastic, fantastic actress. Might be a stretch, but she's great in the movie. I know I hate on Tom Atkins quite a lot on this show, and I know I give him a hard time, but fuck me, dude. He is the weirdest looking man I've ever seen in my life. Like his head is like a peanut shaped head, but like bigger than the rest of his body to
Are
the
you
point
saying
where like I think he falls over a lot.
are
due
you
to
saying
top
he
heavy.
looks like a Funko Pop?
Fucking yes, he is a Funko Pop of a man. That is exactly what he is. Like if you made a Funko Pop of Tom Atkins, I would think it was an actual NECA figure. Like he looks the same. It's fucking weird. Like his head is odd. He has like a really blocky rectangular head on a weirdly shaped framed man. And I know Heather's gonna come at me for my hate on Tom Atkins because I know she's a fan.
So am I.
But the guy's weird. The guy is an
See,
odd man.
I really, really like him. There, I do have to question his foreplay methods because there is a moment in this where it's like,
Bull mustaches.
I mean, we don't need no mustache yet on this show.
the bit where he goes into like kiss her breast it's one step away from breastfeeding. It's like, what are you doing? That's not how you do it. Do it properly.
Right. And I wanted to bring this to attention because I know this is the 80s. It's a very, very different time. But these aren't real people. This is just acting. This is a film set. He goes fully in and milks the shit out of this woman. And I'm like, I don't know if you needed to do that to show what you're showing in the scene. You just saw an opportunity and went for it.
Do you want to make it even worse? So they revealed at a panel, a convention panel, that they had only met the day before and briefly for like 2 minutes. So they were like literally just acquainted. And this was the first scene they shot in the movie. So they met for like 2 minutes and they're like, right, okay, you two are going to get like half naked now and in the bed. And yeah, Tom's going to like play with your boobs. Like, it's the most awkward shit ever.
Play with your boobs. Fucking hell, it's dinner time for Tom Atkins in this scene. Like, it's weird. Goes full Homelander on it.
Full Homelander. We also meet Marge. So we met Marge earlier, and Marge is one of the salespeople, as his buddy. They're salespeople for the Silver Shamrock. They're here to collect their latest stock of these Halloween masks. Marge fiddling around with the mask and the little tag falls off, and then it full on like Superman 3 blue laser blasts her in the face and melts her mouth. Awesome.
Yeah, the effects work are great, especially considering the time. It's a really conflicting scene because when you first get the blast, like it looks really good and like it looks like she's had a shotgun to the face and all her face is blown up and like all teeth are all mangled and stuff. But then it does like a different prosthetic for when the bugs start coming out of her. Like it's clearly not the same prosthetic. And then I get it because obviously it's going to be a different one because they have to store the bugs and insects inside and have a snare holes for them to come out. But the one that they use to show the initial blow from the laser looks incredibly good, whereas the one that comes after isn't as good and does very sort of prosthetic-y. I just got an eBay notification on my laptop and it came through my headphones. Did you guys hear that?
No, I didn't hear
it. That's all right. I was like, that'd be really interesting to know if that came up on the episode.
You have paid £900 for a VHS tape. Congratulations.
Yeah, I was like, shit, what have I been on now?
This is where we get the cover up. So we get the man bots and Cochrane turn up and they take Marge away. And this is where Dan goes out and he's like, what's going on? I'm a doctor. They're like, don't worry. We're giving her the best possible care. He's like, well, where? There's not a hospital. He's like, we're taking her to the factory where we make shit masks. Don't worry. She'll have the best care. And I'm like,
I like the way he flashes his doctor badge as well. Like, I'm like, it doesn't hold the same authority as a policeman. but he tries it anyway.
He does have a go, and I'll give him his due. Like, he's genuinely concerned at this point for this woman. Like, what happened? I can help. Also, I want to know who you are, because I know you're the guy who runs the mask factory, and I know, like, he's genuinely trying to work as a detective and solve what's going on.
I mean, the whole situation's suspect as shit anyway. Why the hell is Colonel Cochrane there in the first place?
Because it's a malfunction of one of his masks, but it's a
Yeah,
misfire.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, like, he has reason to be suspicious, because why the fuck would the CEO? It's like Elon Musk turning up to a fucking forklift incident in one of his factories. You'd be like, you don't need to be here, my friend, which makes this a very suspicious situation.
Yeah, it does. And this leads to the factory tour. So they go to the factory in the morning to speak to the staff and find out what happened with the delivery that her dad was going to pick up. And this is where they meet Buddy, and they get roped into this like tour of the facility. Again, I'm going to say it, this is the worst company, like the worst novelty toy company in the world. They have 3 masks. That's all they sell. Like, it boggled my mind. Like, give them a wider range. Even if they don't do masks, do something else. And on what on earth possessed John Carpenter to not put a Michael Myers mask somewhere in this factory? It blew my mind that he didn't.
Yeah. I mean, I'm conflicted in what you're saying. One, because I've been a teenager and I understand that when something's like cool and everybody wants it, you don't need to have, like, there just needs to be that one thing, you know, and this is very much that of the time. Everybody wants this particular set of masks for Halloween. And I think the 3 option thing's a very good marketing ploy. But I understand what you're saying. If you are this super mega store mask making company, you would have fucking thousands of options for people to choose from.
Yeah.
And given how much John Carpenter insisted on having his own original movie highlight reeled throughout this film, you would think there would be more Michael Myers-esque stuff within a factory that makes masks.
Yeah,
you're right.
Even if you just had like one on a shelf that had like prototype written below it, anything, just something to make people go, oh.
He was just a producer. Him and Deborah Hill were just producer credits on this. It was written and directed by what's his fucking name?
Oh god, it's gone. I've got it. Tommy Lee Wallace.
Yes. Again, who John and Deborah and Tommy Lee Wallace, big collaborators. They all worked together on the first 2 movies. Tommy even played Myers in a couple of scenes in that first original film.
Yeah.
So you would think that in this moment you would have, but again, it's like when we talk about Halloween Ends, that final closing scene of the mask.
Fumbled.
Should have had, and it didn't need to even mean anything in that movie.
No.
It didn't need to, but having it there would have justified so much more fan speculation to what that mask actually represented throughout that film with Corey.
Just a silver shamrock tag inside the mask, and everyone would have lost their fucking minds. It would have been the greatest Halloween movie of all time, brought everything full circle, but they bottled it.
They bottled it, yeah, and it was a simple thing. And even whether they intended to mean what we as fans would have speculated it to mean, it would have given us a reason to justify things a lot more than we actually came to the original conclusion of it being. And I think that was a fumble on David Gordon Green's part. I've read some fans fiction shit somewhere that it was an intention for him to do it, but they never went through with it. I don't buy it personally. I think if it was an option to do it, you just do it because you didn't need it to mean anything. But anyway, I digress. As we were saying, yeah, I think with this factory, there should have been a mold of the original Star Trek dude. My mind is fucking
Captain Kirk
mask. It didn't even need to be the Halloween mask. You could have just had a Captain Kirk mask floating about in the background. But again, I think by this point, they were dealing with William Shatner court cases.
Yeah, I think they were
using his face and stuff like that, which is why by the time we get to Halloween 4, it's a very different looking mask, and it does go on to be a very different looking mask throughout the rest of the franchise. And it is all down to William Shatner trying to sue them for replicating likeness of his face. And it's not replicating likeness of his face, it is his fucking face.
It really is.
I get it.
It is, and I'll be amazed. Like I'm amazed at no point did they manage to get William Shatner on board for a cameo. Like a cameo from William Shatner.
Even now, 13, 14 movies in, how has this dude not made an appearance in this franchise?
All you want is just him sat in a restaurant or a diner somewhere, and he looks out the window as Michael Myers walk past, and you just get them look at each other. That's all you
as a
need.
reflection. That
just
would be brilliant. How has no one done that yet?
It's literally, you're talking like 8 seconds of film just to give all the fans and just go, that's really cool, and then we can move on from it. The mystery around the final processing cracks me up. They're like, yes, the mask goes through final process. Like, what's involved in final processing? Oh, it's very technical, you wouldn't understand, and just walks them away. And this is where Dan and Ellie go to leave, and they're wandering across the car park, and Ellie spots her dad's car in one of the garages and goes to walk up, and you get all the cyborgs block them, and they basically just go, yeah, fuck this shit, we're going, and they leave. From here, it goes wild. Like it really takes a step up in gear. So they go back to the hotel. Dan nips out to the car. He comes back. Ellie's been kidnapped. There's 15-man bots stood outside that like chase him and hunt him down. And he's hiding in the town. One really cool thing that I spotted this time, and I had to Google if I was right. There's a DeLorean floating around in the town. As in the DeLorean.
They've not got a Michael Myers mask, but they've got a fucking DeLorean.
They've got a DeLorean. This is, bear in mind, this is before Back to the Future. But Dean Cundy, who's the cinematographer for this, also went on to be the cinematographer for all 3 Back to the Future movies. So I can't help but think that he's like, that car's cool. I want one of those. And that's that. This is my link. Halloween 3 Season of the Witch gave us the DeLorean.
We'll have to check with Steven Spielberg on that before we get sued. But yeah, that's our theory at the moment.
Steve, call in. We know you listen. He gets into the factory and he gets confronted by Dick Warlock, who is Myers in Halloween 2, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot. They justify Dick Warlock as being the reason why the mask looks so different, saying that he had a rounder face than my mind. Who played Halloween? Michael Myers in the first Halloween movie. My brain is
Nick Castle.
So there we go. Saying that he had a rounder face, but I don't see it personally. I don't like when looking at the 2 actors. I mean, I know Nick Castle does have a longer, elongated face as opposed to Dick Warlock, but not to the extent that would make the Myers mask look as golf ball because it does in the second one, and especially in comparison to the 2 in stature as well. Like people always say, like Dick Warlock's a big guy. He's not. He's an average looking dude in this movie. He's 5'11". I don't think he's touching the 6 foot mark. I don't know whether he lost some weight between Halloween 2 and Season of the Witch or whatever, but yeah, I mean, Dick Warlock he's a stuntman by trade. He was a stuntman for the first Halloween movie. Then he originally donned the mask in the second movie. He was brought on to do stunt work in this movie before they make him a mainstay actor. Great guy. I've seen him at Love of Horror a couple of times. Yeah, great guy. I'm not too sure if Dick's passed now. I think he may have.
He may have. I'm not sure either. This fight sequence, though, I really like. And this is where we get the reveal that these are man bots, because Dan gets him down on the floor, punches him a couple of times, then just pulls out like a hand of wires and this orangey goo that's coming out of his mouth and out of his stomach. That orange goo is literally just orange juice concentrate. That's all it is. And it looks so good.
It looked like engine oil, I'll be honest with you. I thought it was just generic engine oil.
Yeah, no, it's orange juice concentrate, and that's what they use for this. Dan then continues his search, and he meets the sewing animatronic, and eventually he ends up getting caught. I love this film, but this is where it gets really...
Oh, have you got some problems, have you, mate?
It's not even problems. It's just fucking ridiculousness that I can't justify it. I'm not going to try and justify it. I enjoy it for what it is. But when you go through it, like as we are, when I get to here, I just kind of go, what I want to say is, and then some shit happens and there's a really cool end, but I need to go through the shit that happens. So Colonel Cochrane catches Dad and he walks him through this big room where you've got the fucking giant stone from Stonehenge. And Dad's like, is that stone from Stonehenge? He's like, yeah. You wouldn't believe the trouble we had getting it here. And I'm like, are you going to tell us? And that's it. Just, it was a nightmare. You wouldn't believe it. And just brushed over it. Like, this is a 10-ton fucking slab of stone that somehow they've got from the UK to the United States and no one spotted it. Like, this shit wouldn't even fit in a fucking container. How did they do it? And I want to know.
No, magic by all accounts.
Magic or science, because both of which are very prevalent in this movie. Like,
but again, right, listen, we get this whole James Bond exposition segment here.
Yeah.
And unless I've missed something, how the fuck are you all blind to this movie? We don't know the purpose other than some generic fucking sacrifice that happens every 3,000 years.
Yeah.
With no context of why and who they're doing it for.
Yeah.
We get no context of how the mask itself works and
Magic.
why they're then spewing bugs out of people when it
and
tingles
snakes.
a bit of lightning inside of them.
Don't forget snakes.
And snakes.
Yep.
It's just basically, ooh, lightning. And then the next thing, like your body's turned to snakes and cockroaches. Where does that shit come from? Is that stored within the fucking microchip capsule? Like how, why, who, what, when, where? Where does this shit happen? How does this shit happen? What is the purpose of this shit? Why are they doing this sacrifice? Is it the end of the world if they don't fulfill this sacrifice? Like, you've got to have stakes. Like, often when you get these villains are like, yes, I get eternal wealth and I get to live forever and become a vampire.
No, Cochrane's
doing it.
Cochrane explains why he's doing it. He's doing it because people have forgotten the true meaning of Samhain or Halloween.
Fuck off.
It's the most ridiculous reason. It's like, I'm doing it because I feel like it.
Yeah.
This is where he locks Dan in the room, and he, like, you get the execution of the family, the what they called the Kempfers, the salesman, his wife, and his son. And his son sat there watching the TV, and his head like melts, and like the bugs come out and the snake, which this scene's really cool. Like,
best scene in the movie. I really, really like the mask killing the kid. As awful as that sounds.
I question how the mum dies, because the mum just sort of goes, oh, and has a terrible faint and then just gets bugs all over her. So I don't know if she's dead or just passed out.
She faints and then the bugs come, and then you see the snake going towards her ear hole. So you imagine, which is good, because like that would be a plausible explanation. It's like the kids are going to be the ones to go. The panic of shock of the parents are then going to be the downfall of everybody else, because the mum faints. So she's not really dead. The dad dies from the bite from one of the snakes, or at least faints, is poisoned, whatever.
Yeah.
But while the mum's unconscious due to shock, the snake then gets in her ear and fucks her up as well. So you can see how it would wipe out a household from this particular incident and why they're targeting the children. But again, we've got no real fucking justification as to why or when or what or who or why or what.
Just because. Dan's trapped in the room, and we also get the voice announcer. We get this montage of like children all over America with these masks on running around, and he's like, don't forget the big announcement at 9 o'clock. And that's actually Tommy Lee Wallace who does that voiceover. One question that bugs me, there are lots of time zones in America. His plan is it's so fundamentally flawed, because you're talking like East Coast to West Coast, like a 6-hour difference. So it's the big announcement is at 9 p.m. Where is the big announcement at 9 p.m.? Is that like on the East Coast? Because if it is, then like on the West Coast, by the time people have died on the East Coast, everyone on the West Coast will know, and they won't put their masks on. Like, it's so fundamentally flawed that if you dig too deep, it just falls apart.
In terms of time zones, without making myself sound like Gemma Collins, if it's 9 p.m. here, surely the advert would ring out as 8 p.m. 7 p.m., 6 p.m. So they're all aligned at the same world time, you would imagine.
You'd think so, but again, it doesn't explain it. Don Chalice is tied up, given the big speech by Cochrane of he's doing it because people have forgotten the real meaning of Halloween. So I'm going to massacre millions of children. I think that's fair. Then he puts on Halloween to torture Tom Atkins. You sit here and watch the original, and Tom Atkins fully like double boots the TV. Like, I'm not watching that shit.
It's the most hilarious shit as well when you're watching the CCTV footage and he has that mask on. He's like a scary movie skit, you know, like because the mask makes him look like real comedic. So he's like bouncing about trying to free himself, and he's just got this stupid skeleton mask on.
You know the mask throw where he throws it onto the CCTV camera. It was actually done by Tom Atkins. It took over 40 takes to get it right.
That doesn't surprise me. The guy's a fucking buffoon.
He does escape. He goes through an air duct in very James Bond-esque style.
James Bond, this is a full Die Hard moment.
It is. And the only thing that's missing is he's got his shoes on. Take his shoes off and make him go through broken glass before this and get him to say yippee-ki-yay as he comes out the other end. And this is infinitely better. He finds Ellie, he gets Ellie, and they the way they get across the room where you've got like the stone and all the man bots, this fucking almost comedic sketch where they get the wheeling rack with all the masks on it and they walk behind it. It's like something from a video game, and it makes me laugh every single time.
It becomes very Austin Powers in these closing moments. I'm not going to lie to you.
Especially when he's like, he gets the buttons and he gets the buttons off the mask and he goes upstairs and he's like, yeah, and just tips them off. And it's like this lightning storm of chaos that kills all the robots. It's so weird. And Cochrane stands at the bottom and like, well done, well played, and slow claps him.
Right, this is my biggest bullshit moment that's going to ruin this movie for anybody else who watches it from here on out, right? Okay, and this is how it's going to go down because this is bullshit. So he throws the buttons off the side.
Yeah,
you get the lightning spewing. It kills everybody in the vicinity downstairs on the computers.
Yep.
But it also kills all the androids that are in a completely separate room traveling up the stairway hallway.
Yeah.
But at this point, right, the younger chick, what's her name?
Ellie.
Ellie's already a robot.
She is.
So why did she not die on that balcony when he threw the buttons over?
I ain't got no diseases. You mind if I have a drink?
She should have died in that moment because
Yeah.
she was also a robot and she was in the vicinity of what was going on. If it can take out robots in a completely separate corridor room to where they're standing, she should have died in that moment with everything that was going on.
You're 100% right, and you've damaged my viewing of this movie forever.
You're welcome. And it pissed me off. It pissed me off watching it because I was like, I've already seen this movie now. And I know that once they get further down the road, she's going to then try and attack. And that means she's a robot, which means she's a robot at this point because that's what they've done to her at the facility. Therefore, she should have died at that moment on top of the balcony.
Yeah, you're 100% right. But she doesn't, and they escape after Cochrane just fades into nothing.
Where the fuck does he go? Where does he go?
Why
does he go? Where does he go? Who does he go? What the fuck?
More importantly, why does he turn into paper Cochrane first? He fully goes like full on white, like he's made of paper mache, and then he disappears.
The thing is, mate, he's got enough fucking time to sidestep out of that room. He stands there and gives a standing ovation to Dan.
Yeah,
when he could have literally been like, this is fucking bad. I'm just going to leave this room for a moment. He doesn't. He just stands there and takes the laser lightning after a 10-minute round of applause for Dan. And I'm like, dude, what's with the self-sacrifice?
Yeah, I don't get it. We get outside and they're driving down the road. And this is where Ellie reveals herself as a fembot and fully attacks Dan. I really like this scene. I like the fact they get out and they have a fight and he gets the tire iron and he smashes her head clean off. And like you've got the body and the head on the floor. All of this is great, even down to the point where he gets back in the car and he gets attacked by the severed arm. Then he gets attacked by like the headless body. Like this whole sequence is so goofy and it's so 80s silly dopey horror. And this is the sort of stuff that I absolutely adore. Put this sort of stupid horror into any movie and I'm all in.
Yeah, but it is ridiculous. And again, this time watching it, it was one of those moments where every time you like see him getting attacked by the hand, you can see it framed in a way where she's just bent down off screen. Like no effort was put into it to get like an actual like prosthetic arm for him to wrestle with. It was somebody off screen holding him the whole time. I'm like, oh fucking hell, man.
Dan eventually gets to the gas station that we saw at the very beginning with the gas station attendee, and
we didn't mention him earlier on either, by the way, because as soon as shit goes sideways in the hospital, he's like, I've seen horror movies, black guy always goes first, I'm off.
Yeah,
and he literally bails as well. He's like, I always try to do the right thing and help everybody, and then when shit starts going sideways, he's like, fuck this shit.
He literally says to Dan at the beginning of the hospital, he's like, yeah, I always do the best to help anyone I can. Do you still need me here? And Dan's like, no. He's like, brilliant. Okay, bye. And like he literally sprints out of the hospital. But all of this shit comes back to his door. The TV ad is playing now. They're doing the final Silver Shamrock.
Again, right? This moment, the car pulls into the gas station.
Yep.
And it is all children wearing the masks.
Yes.
This is children driving this car into a petrol station.
Yes.
There is no adult driver in the car. It is just children driving the fucking car in. There is 3 children and they all have each variant of the mask. And they step out of the car. None of them are there to fill up on gas. They're literally there to get candy from the petrol station for trick-or-treating.
And the worst bit is that's not the biggest problem in this scene. The biggest problem in this scene is Dan goes, can I use your phone? Gas station man goes, yeah, I like to help out anyone. Help yourself. Who the fuck does Dr. Dan call that he's got the power to get 2 channels to take the advert off TV? Who's he called? The president, the head of the networks? Like, who's he got in his contact
I have to
list?
assume he called the head of the network because that's what they were insinuating.
But how? How does he have that contact?
Let's not do that with this film because there is like you're picking like the simplistic flaw of this entire movie to go at, whereas everything I've mentioned prior to this is way much more of a head scratcher than this particular scene.
Yeah,
like this is just like, all right, fair enough. At this point, yeah, of course he fucking got the speed dial number for the head of the BBC. Bear in mind, we live in an era where you don't have telephones, you don't have mobile phones, you can't just Google a number. He's had to memorize this number to call in case of an emergency. Like, I might need to ring CNN one day, but I'm going to remember this number. So if ever I'm in dire situation, I can ring CNN and let them know that I might need to take them off the air one day.
Yeah, and he remembers and he does it. He gets it off 2 stations and it ends with him shouting, turn it off, stop. And then it goes black before the 3rd channel goes off. The movie is really ambiguous at the end, as you said at the beginning of this episode. There is a novelization, and in the novelization, they do fully commit to it doesn't go off the air, and that novelization ends with endless screams of dying children heard throughout the station, the town, and the land beyond. So like this giant, like unified scream of millions of children dying. So there is a really dark ending to this.
Which I wish they'd have committed to. I really do. And in my mind, the first time around, that was my takeaway. You know, I had that playing in my head. But this time around, again, criticizing it and picking apart all these little bits, that was one of the things. I was like, oh, no, you actually didn't commit. You didn't commit. You left it there in a moment of, actually, no, that could have been turned off in time.
Yeah, they did. I'm going to say, still no notes. I fully understand all of Dan's decisions. I support most of his decisions because of his horrible ex-wife. This is a 5 out of 5. Perfect film. I absolutely love it. Nothing's going to change my mind. This episode hasn't changed my mind. It's awesome.
Absolute fucking prick. So
about a beer.
So just out of your support for Dan, out of curiosity as well, like he has sex with this young lady multiple times.
He does.
before he finally decides to turn around and say, "How old are you?"
That I do not
Do you
support.
no,
That.
you know you support
No,
that though,
no,
100%.
that was a bad choice on his part. Like, I think it's quite
Was
clear
it
she.
though? Because you said you support 100% all of Dan's decisions throughout this movie, and I'm just curious to know if you think that was all right.
No, that's definitely not right. The headlines: podcaster supports paedophile. I can see the headlines already.
We are in no affiliation with the BBC. I would just like to clarify that now.
We're not in affiliation with the BBC, Epstein Island, or anywhere else where bad shit like that happens.
No, right. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get your score. I don't get how you can get to the end of the episode after everything we've discussed and still stand by a 5. Especially based on some of the stuff we have talked about in the past. I get people's passions for movies. I get people's love for movies, but I don't understand the justification to qualify this movie as being such a high rated film, not just even a Halloween film, just a film. And I think this isn't against you either. I'm not coming at you and I'm not calling you out on this, but I do feel like Halloween 3 is a product of cool rebellion. It's a cool thing to do to say you like Halloween 3 and it's your favorite in the Halloween franchise, knowing full well it's not a cool movie. It's not the best in the Halloween franchise, but because you're rebelling against the cause and you're going against the grain and it makes you feel special to do so. And again, Scott, I'm not coming at you with this because you might genuinely love this movie and I respect you from that point. If
Genuinely, if I had a choice of all the Halloween movies stacked up, I'm picking this or Halloween
No,
Resurrection.
and exactly. We've gone back and forth on this franchise for fucking years now. Do you know what I mean? And I know your insistent love for this film. I don't get it in the slightest. I've known you for a long time now, and I've known the movies you like, and it blows my mind that this is one particular movie that you tend to do justify and champion so much. But I do feel like this movie is something that people go for in a way where they're like, oh, it's cool to just be like, yeah, Season of the Witch is the best. It's not. And I can't fathom anybody who tries to justify it in a way that this is better than even Halloween 2 or Halloween H2O or even Halloween 4. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I've got my passions and my love for Halloween 4, but I'm one of those people who can turn around and say, it's not even close to being the best in the franchise, but I love it unconditionally.
This isn't the best movie in the franchise. From a movie standpoint, this is not the best. It is the movie I enjoy the most, but it's not like, if I was to rank the Halloween movies as the best cinematography, best story, best everything, this isn't the best. It's not even close to the best. But if I rank them on how I always rank movies, on what I enjoy the most, this sits top because it's so out of left field and everything is like what the fuck are you doing that for? Wow, that's different. And I really like it. Like my position for this being my favorite is because it is so different to all of the other movies that, let's be honest, 90% of them are the same beats with a different cast.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah, and I get that. Do you know what I mean? And I do understand why you in particular would choose to do so and why you like it the way that you like it. But for me, it's just like this nuance of people who just scream out their love for this movie and come at people on the internet saying, fucking hell, Halloween 3 Season of the Witch is the best in the front. I'm like, fucking have a day off, man. Like, that's not the case, and you know it's not the case, you know. It's just it annoys me, it grates me the wrong way for a magnitude of reasons, but more often than not, I feel like people who do champion this movie within the Halloween franchise are doing it for, yeah, it's cool to be different. And it's like, just no, sometimes that's not the case. And this is one of those not the case moments. Halloween 3 Season of the Witch is a very dog shit movie. If I wanted to like sort of highlight some of the things that I like. I think John Carpenter's left field score in this is fantastic. He went and tried to do something very different, and I like that, and I like what he achieved with it. I like the incorporations of the original movie throughout. I like the fact that they introduced Laurie's theme when Dan Chalice is tied in that room, and they also use the Halloween movie as a reference point for that particular theme music playing as it does kick in. I don't like Tom Atkins. I don't think he's a very good actor. He's got a weird head, which I've also touched on numerous times on this episode. Everyone else around him.
I'm buying you a Funko Pop Tom Atkins.
No, I'll fucking burn it on my barbecue this summer, I promise you. Actually, I don't know. If you did buy me it, I'd feel rude, and I'd probably put it up here on the toy shelf just for it to be there. But yeah, I don't like this movie. I really wish it wasn't part of my favorite franchise, and I didn't have to constantly find myself coming back to it for reasons that I don't want to, because I don't enjoy watching it. I don't want to watch it. If you love this movie, fair play to you. But why? Why? Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I just feel like if this movie, one of the things I've always said is if it didn't have the Halloween tag, it would stand so much higher on its own 2 feet. I've come to the realization now that if it didn't have the Halloween tag, it would be nothing. It wouldn't even be a thing. People still wouldn't be talking about it. The only reason it is spoken about now is because it has the Halloween 3 season of the witch tag to it. If it didn't have that, it wouldn't even be a topic of conversation, because it'd be an 80s movie that nobody liked and that everybody's forgotten about.
Yeah, see, I disagree with you, but I want to ask you more importantly. So you're keeping your score at a 5 out of 5, right?
Fuck that, dude. Staying at a 1 out of 5. There's elements of it that I can justify. If I could go lower, I probably would. And that's not me just being a Halloween basic bitch. I just think it's a bad movie. Many of the reasons I've tried to justify to you this evening, I could go on for much longer if I needed to and had to. If you want to hear more reasons on why I dislike this movie, drop me a message. We can fucking fight it out. And I promise you, it's not a battle you will win.
We have no voicemails this week because, as we've said on the last couple of episodes, we're recording well in advance. So me and Mark can have a couple of weeks off for weddings and other kind of cool stuff that we're doing in the real world. If you want to send us a voicemail, you can do that. You do that on Instagram or X. Just record an audio DM and we'll play it on the show. Or send us a TikTok. Just tag us in a TikTok with what you want to say, and we'll get that on the episode as well. 3-word review. Based on your previous comments, you're not going to like 3-word review this week. YouTube, Santimo7544, The Best Halloween. Over on Threads, Bad Candy Films, The Halloweeniest Halloween. Jason Michael Lewis, No Michael Myers, which technically that's not true. He appears many times in many forms. Instagram, Lumberjay Reviews, The Best One. Dewey Pod Monster went with Miller High Life. Colin Firth Museum clearly does not like children. Perfect Kids Gift, give them a mask. That's what they get. AMPFX Studios. AMPFX Studios. Happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. This Girl Loves Horror. Went with 2 words, and both of these words upset me, Becky, a lot. Totally overrated. And Mark's back again. Chainsaw Chicken Barbecue, peak Tom Atkins. Bloody Babble, fan ruined opportunity. And I agree with that. Like, if this was the second movie and they rocked on and done lots of different stories and done spin-offs of each, like if they had the original Halloween, then done this, done a spin-off of the original Halloween and gave us Halloween 2, done a spin-off of this and gave us another story, and then told a third story, like, and kept going on like that and built this franchise of interweave different tales, I think that would have been awesome. Just Sarah, absolutely freaking awesome. Frank 1482, best of franchise. Hospital Massacre VHS, appreciated decades later. And finally on Slasher, Savannah Harrow, Atkins Mustache Rides.
I'm in for it this week, aren't
I think you're going to get a little bit of backlash this week. We are going to play a game. It is a game we've played many times before with many different franchises. It's called Box Office. So I'm going to give you the first box office numbers. It's going to be for Halloween 3 first. And then all you need to do for the next movie is tell me whether it made more money or less money than the movie before. So Halloween 3, on its original theatrical release, made $14.4 million. Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, did that make more or less than Halloween 3?
So I'm trying to be smart about this. Had you have said Halloween 4, I would have immediately gone yes, because it was marketed as the return of Michael Myers. But I think Halloween 5, I don't know if it would have done less than this, though. That's the question that I'm struggling with, because it wasn't as good as Halloween 4. And it did put the franchise on hiatus for a little bit until we got Halloween 6. But is it better than Season of the Witch? And I want to say yes, purely because it is a better movie, even though it's not a good movie. I'm going to say yes, Halloween 5 did do better than Season of the Witch.
It didn't. It made $11.6 million. It done less. Halloween 2, did that make more or less than Halloween 5?
Yes, that made less. That definitely made more than Halloween 5. Surely.
It did. It made 25.5 million. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, did that do better than the original Halloween 2 or worse?
It did better than the original Halloween 2.
It did. It done $39 million.
Because it's a fantastic movie, man.
Halloween 2018.
Yes, highest grossing movie of the decade, I believe, if I'm correct. I think it outbeat It, Chapter 1.
It didn't, unfortunately. It did do very, very well, though. $159 million, which is mega money. Did Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, make more or less than Halloween 2018?
It definitely made less than Halloween 2018.
It did.
I think Halloween 2018 is a benchmark and everything's down from that point on.
15.1 million that made. How about Halloween Resurrection? Did that do better than Curse?
I'm going to say yes, purely based on the time period of... We'd just come out the back of Halloween H2O. Slashers were dying out, but they were still prevalent in cinema. And Halloween was like it was an event, not just a movie franchise. I just mean like it was an event. We were like rolling into the eras of the Saw franchise, where every year we'd get the Saw franchise, and it was an October event for horror fans. And I think this did well. I think this did well, even though it shouldn't have done. I do feel like Halloween Resurrection did well at the cinema, especially better than, what was it, 14 million you said?
Yeah, 15.1 Curse done.
15.1. Yeah, I'm going to say yeah, definitely.
It did. It done $30.3 million. It actually made a lot of money. Halloween 4, did that make less or more than Halloween Resurrection?
Why you framed these in a way? Why would you do? Because I know the answer to this question.
Of course,
we all know the answer to this question.
Yeah, I was surprised. Like, as I've said to you recently off air, like Halloween 4 has grown on me over time, and it's not the horrific watch that it once was. And even I was shocked at what this made. Like, it blew my mind how little money this made.
Yeah, I'm going to say that Halloween 4 made more money than Halloween Resurrection.
It didn't. It made 17.7 million. How did Halloween 4 make 17 million?
I don't know, because it's the best movie in the franchise, in my opinion.
Well,
I said in my opinion.
Yeah. Halloween 1978, did that make more or less than Halloween 4?
Definitely made more.
It did. It made $47 million off of a budget that was about £8.50, which is phenomenal. Halloween H2O?
That made more than the original, definitely.
It did. It made $55 million. Halloween Ends.
Ooh. Sure, yeah, surely that made more than 55 million. I think I don't think it broke the 100 mark. I know 2018, like you say, 150 million. It definitely took a steady decline, but we're not talking low figures like that. I don't think it's. I think you're still within your 80s, 90 million mark.
Okay, you're wrong. It did make more than Halloween H2O. You're right there, but it only made $64 million.
That is surprising. And again, you've got to take into comparison here the last two Halloween movies in that trilogy were released to streaming on the same day, and those figures don't reflect box office.
No. Rob Zombie's original Halloween, did that make more or less than Halloween Ends?
More.
Did a hell of a lot more.
Yeah.
80.4 million, Rob Zombie's Halloween, and rightfully so, because that movie, I concur. In fact, I have a soundbite that's even better. Where is it? That
As I've said for fucking years now, if I won the lottery, I would give it all to Rob Zombie to make Halloween 3.
one. Final one. Halloween Kills, did it make more or less than $80.4 million?
More. Again, fucking pandemic times, man. I know I was frontline on release day. I think that made more. I think the hype was there for it. But again, Melt's still not going out. Scared of COVID. I don't know. I don't know. It's a really difficult one because had you have thrown that out in a generic cinema goer time period, I would have said 100% based off the back of the success of Halloween 2018. I would expect that movie to make even more money purely based on the fact that Halloween 2018 was such a success in the cinema.
Yeah.
It then reached audience on streaming services. Therefore, you've got a bigger audience then wanting to go and see it progress further in a sequel. And I think had we not have been in the time frame we were in, I would have said, yes, 100% that movie is going to put bums in seats. People are going to want to go and see them replicate the magic that they did in 2018. But again, it was one of those things. It was released on streaming the same day as it was released in the cinema.
Yep.
People were still scared to go outside. Why would you risk it when you didn't need to?
What do you reckon then? More or less than Rob
I'm
Zombie's
going to say
Halloween?
less. I'm going to say less, even though I don't think it should have done.
It didn't do less. It done $92 million, considering it was released same day streaming, is phenomenal amounts of money. That doesn't take into account whatever it done on streaming. And like I went to the cinema to watch that, and then when I got home, I bought the copy digitally, which I still own. On streaming.
It's still to this day. I think the Gordon Green trilogy gets a lot of hate.
2018 is one of the best Halloween movies going.
It is. It's a fucking fantastic movie. And I just think they had the concept and the idea of making such a great movie that they didn't have anything to follow it up with, but they had to follow it up. You know what I mean? And I think they missed so many opportunities. I think the podcaster guy who got wiped out in the toilet should have survived.
Aaron.
It should have very easily been a situation where he should have survived that situation. You know,
he should have been the new Loomis.
He should have been the new Loomis, 100%, and he should have been a focal point of the sequels going forward. And again, with what happened in Halloween Ends, I don't dislike that movie. There's a lot of things that I love in that movie, but I feel like if that was your end game, the groundwork should have been laid out for it in the prior two movies, and it wasn't. Corey should have been a character in the first two movies. There should have been more lore building surrounding the ability to take that sort of. I feel like everything they established in that end movie was great, and I love it. It was just all too little, too late, you know, and it didn't back up anything that had come before it. And that's my biggest gripe with Halloween Ends. I still love that movie for what it is. I still watch it religiously every year. But I just wish they'd have laid more groundwork for it in the prior two movies to justify going in the direction they did with that third movie.
I completely agree. I think that, Ends is one of those. It's one that if the Gordon Green trilogy I know is good, because if I watch 2018, I put on Kills, and if I put on Kills, I put on Ends.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I know it's good. The same way as if I watch Halloween 1, I watch Halloween 2. The
Exactly.
same reason, if for any reason I put on Halloween 5, I watch Halloween 6, even though they are both the worst, they go together. They're like, it's like having chips without salt and vinegar. You can't do it. You've got to have them together.
Exactly that.
It is that time of the day. It's the best time of the day for everybody involved, especially Mark.
He's the king of the spool, the lord of the stack. If it's on magnetic tape, there's no turning back. From the floor to the ceiling, he's a mastermind hoarder, keeping analog alive on the edge of the border. Rewind, the night under the static flip. It's Marc, VHS from the crypt.
How about a beer?
Okay, then. So I'm regretting my life choices with the stuff I'm going to show you on this episode, given my rewatch of this movie and why I own so much of it, I'll be honest. But being the big Halloween fan that I am, I don't often collect variants. That's something that I don't tend to do. If there's multiple releases of a certain type of movie, I'm happy with just the particular one that I want for my collection. However, I do make that exception with the Halloween franchise. I will collect that in retail, rental, cover variants, slip formats, I mean, I have like 14 different copies of Halloween 4 on VHS, purely just because the artwork's slightly different or the release is different by a different company. When it comes to the Halloween franchise, I'll just take anything I can get really to go in my collection. And the Halloween 3 has somehow happened to be one of those products as well, because it's just part of the Halloween franchise. So if I find stuff that is Halloween related, I'll just buy it. And I'll be honest with you, most of the stuff I've bought that I'm going to show you tonight is based on my first watch of Halloween 3.
Okay.
I will not be collecting variants of this movie going forward. That's for sure. So I want to start off with my most prized version of this tape, because that's usually what I do when I'm doing this. And that is my American Cardboard NTCCSCVV, whatever the variant is, of Halloween 3. I have the entire franchise on American Cardboard release, and I also, because I love the way that they line up on my shelf, I have custom made versions of Halloween 1 and 2 by Rob Zombie and Halloween 2018 Kills and Ends on VHS in this slip format, so they all sit uniformly on my shelf, which is fantastic. Hopefully we'll get the opportunity to revisit some of the later releases that didn't come out past VHS on the show again, and I can showcase them and then give a shout out to the artist who made those versions for me. But this is the original release of Halloween 3 Season of the Witch American version, which is cool. I like it. I love it. Do you know what I mean? It's great. It's one of my most prized tapes. It's a very expensive tape. If you try to buy that now, you're looking in excess of hundreds of pounds to get a copy of it. I have the retail release of Halloween 3, which again, cool tape. It's really difficult to see. This is a different art. This is an artwork variant, which I like.
It's the artwork of the thing in the clouds in the red cover.
Yeah. That's right. And it's just a focus on that. This is a Warner Brothers release. It's just a retail release. It's not ex-rental. It's a budget release if you were to buy it in a Woolworths or anything like that. But again, it's a variant. It's a Halloween movie. I picked it up. It's fantastic. And then I have a very cool variant, which has this is like the UK release version, proper version. But again, this is just a retail release. Halloween movies are one of those where, like, the first 3 movies. So for those of you who know me and know what I collect, when I collect X rentals usually come in the bigger box, which means like the tape clicks in and it's got like more surrounding in its shell and the artwork's a lot more grandeur. Whereas the retail releases are a little bit smaller and the artwork's a little bit smaller. They have preset releases, which means they are rental releases, but they still come in a smaller box. This is going to be a rant that's going to go on for a bit, and I do apologize. The first 3 Halloween movies, 1, 2, and 3, came out in preset release, which means that they do come out in a smaller box, and even though they are rental tapes, they don't have a big box release. So for me, they don't justify the price tag. I justify the price tag based on uniformity on the shelf. So if like there's a movie that came out and it's only available on small box release. So like my original copy of Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street's the same. It's a preset release. So even if you buy that as an X rental tape, it still comes in a small box.
Right.
So for me to have it looking the same size on a shelf as it would be if it was a big box X rental, it's like I can't justify the price tag to verify something that's still going to look ununiform on the shelf. I'd rather just buy the retail tape and wear it out, buy another version of it. So with the first 3 Halloween movies, as much as I would love to own the preset versions of them, it's a big franchise. People love it. Collectors, whether they're VHS collectors or not, whether they're Halloween collectors in general, they want that shit, you know, and it comes with a very hefty price tag. So I can't justify the first 3 movies just to have them looking exactly the same as what this would. I haven't done it yet. There will be a time where I'll buy
You will.
I will get it. And you know me, you know I will get it eventually. But at this stage in my collecting journey, it's just not something that I've felt warranted enough for it to look exactly the same. Whereas like here I have a full VHS wall of just purely X rentals. They're all big box. Everything's as it is. But there's certain movies, as I say, that even though they are X rentals, they're still in the smaller box version. So they're still going to look odd on the shelf. So for me, I'll just put a retail version there for now. When I run out of movies that I can buy and collect, then I'll maybe upgrade them. I don't think that's going to be an issue for me for quite some time. But that's it for the VHS side of things. But I do also own Halloween 3 because, again, I just fucking eat up anything Halloween. So I do own all the Halloween movies on the DVD. I've started to get steelbooks, which is a strange
and dangerous route to go down.
Not necessarily, because obviously, like I say, it's only Halloween content that I buy and it's only Halloween content that I collect. So before I move on, DVD, and then again, the different version of it, which in my opinion, if you're a Halloween fan, this is the ultimate Halloween collection box set that you need to buy. This has Halloween right through to Halloween Resurrection.
I've got it behind me somewhere. I've got that exact copy.
You've got this. It's fucking brilliant. This is a £40 VHS, but £40 box set at CEX. I picked this up in my local CEX because it was in fantastic condition. I love this thing. It's great. I don't need it in 4K. I don't need it in Blu-ray. This is just as good as it is on VHS. It's fucking quality. Go pick this box set up if you need it. But again, I did mention that I started getting steelbooks, and it's not a path I'm by any means going down. And purely because, 1, I don't have a Blu-ray player. 2, I don't have a 4K player. So these are just ornaments on a shelf. I have started getting them because they are quite cool. And the ones that I've got so far, they just show you briefly before we move on. So it's weird, really, because given all the releases of steelbooks and 4K releases, the Halloween franchise hasn't even been touched. Like, there is no 4K releases of any of the Halloween movies, barring the Gordon Green trilogy, which I do own. So I have the original 2018, which is a fantastic steelbook, really, really cool. Obviously, then you're following on with Halloween Kills, again, another fantastic steelbook. And this one I really like is the Halloween Ends steelbook, which is a really like pumpkin orange, Laurie Strode on the back. And then the other steelbook that I own in the franchise, which is probably one of my favorite items in my collection, is the Halloween original steelbook. This is not 4K. This is just Blu-ray. There's not been a 4K release of this that I'm aware of as of yet. Obviously, like I said, I just picked these up purely because they were available. I've stumbled across them. What originally got it into me was there's a guy I follow on Instagram. We were back and forth about our love for the Halloween franchise. I think it's a Halloween fanatic is the guy on Instagram. If any of you follow him or know who he is. And he had a spare copy of this. He got this, and it had the minutest scratch on and it even flows in with the artwork that you can't even see it. It had like literally like the minutest scratch, and he kicked off to like Amazon or something like that. And they basically sent him a prestige replacement. And he's like, look, dude, you can't even see it. But for me, I wanted it in perfect condition. Do you want it? And he sent it out to me. And then
That's
I was like,
awesome.
oh, that's cool. It looked great on the shelf. I was like, I wonder what other ones are available. And then I was like, so I got the Gordon Green ones to complete the trilogy. And then I picked up the Halloween one, even though it's not 4K, because these are 4K Blu-ray Ultra, like the dog bollocks. You got like 2 discs in each one, whereas the Halloween one is just literally a Blu-ray. So I'll probably replace that one at some point. And then again, if they do release the sequels, I'll get them as well. I've also got soundtracks of Halloween on CD. I've got everything. If you can get it and it's Halloween merch and it's available and I can pick it up, I will buy it and I will fucking display it because I love the franchise that much. So just take that into consideration when you listen to my bashing on Halloween 3 this evening. I am a fan. Trust me, I am a fan.
He is a fan. And believe it or not, as much as Mark says he hates this movie and he doesn't want to watch it and he hates the fact it's part of his franchise, I know you will watch this again. You will.
I will, but I won't be in any rush to.
No, but you will watch it again. And that is Mark's VHS from the Crypt. You need to go and follow Mark. He is at VHS from the Crypt on Instagram. There he showcases a much wider, and I mean much wider selection of what he's just shown you today. If you imagine an iceberg, like what Mark's just shown you is not even a shaving of that collection. So go and follow Mark.
I have something really, really, really special. It'll be the rarest tape that I've purchased. That'll be here. I'm hoping it comes tomorrow. For those of you who don't know, we record on a Friday. I purchased this yesterday, and he said he was going to put it in like super fast for me. I don't know when I'll get the opportunity to showcase it on the show, but it's like the rocking horse shit of like VHS tapes. Not because it's like a classic, not because it's like something that's super really cool and really retro. It's just a horror movie tape that like didn't get a release. So it was like a tape that you got. So there's basically, when you've got like X-rental tapes, there's a fair few on my shelf that have got sample written on the back of them.
Yeah.
And then when you put it in the player, it's got like a timestamp code on the top corner. These would go out to like your video rental stores, and they would have them playing in like your screens as you was around and stuff like that. I have a sample tape coming that's the last of the generation of VHS tapes. Like it's people who have like, this guy put it on Facebook. He's like, oh, I've stumbled across this. Like people are like, holy shit. Like I've never even seen it. I've heard about it, but I've never even seen it. And while they're all bitching and talking away on the comments and that, I'm like, kill for it. I was like, hi mate, just out of curiosity. Straight in the DMs. Straight in the DMs, man. I was like, yeah, fucking too right. I want that in my collection. So that's coming. Follow me on Instagram. I might show it on there. I might not. I might hold off for an opportunity to show it on here before I show it on Instagram.
Next week is the prime opportunity. Whatever movie we're doing next week is where you need to show it, because I am so intrigued. Or you need to put it on your social media immediately and tag me, because I want to know what it is. At bare minimum, when we go off the air, tell me what the fuck it is.
I feel like it's really anticlimactic now because it's not a good movie. I mean, I don't know. I think it is. I think it's an all right movie, but it's just one of those. It's just like a movie that shouldn't exist in the format that it does. Given, like, I have another movie like that. So I have the original, the VHS, you know, the found footage movies.
Yeah.
Obviously, that came out post VHS tapes, but they did do a special edition release of that when the movie came out, which I managed to get. And again, that's a really, really hard tape to find. There's other tapes that are really, really hard to find, such as Alien versus Predator. That's a really difficult tape to obtain here in the UK. I managed to get a copy of that. One of the ones that are really eluding me at the moment, which so like if you come across certain tapes on car boots and things like that, think of me when you see these. The original Saw movie, that is like a grail tape that people just don't get hold of. So if you find the original Saw movie on VHS, spend your money on picking that up. The second one is Blade Trinity. I want Blade Trinity. That's a very, very hard tape to obtain just purely because it was at the end of the life cycle. The tape that I've got that's coming is on that level.
Okay.
So when I get it, I'll share with you. I'll save it. I'll bring it on next week. It'll be here by next week, and I'll just show it on the episode next week. Whether it's relevant or not.
Okay, let's do that then. And that brings another episode of the You Run Podcast Horror Movie Review, the greatest podcast in the world, maybe, to an end. Don't forget to recommend a friend to this show. If you listen and you enjoy, tell someone else to listen to us. Leave us a 5-star review wherever you can, because that really helps us go up the charts and more people hear us. Next week, we are back. And my God, if you think the wheels were off last week and the wheels were slightly off this week, next week, the wheels are going to be completely off as we cover a movie in the Alien franchise that every person on the face of Earth hates. And me and Marc are going to sit here and look, everyone thinks it's shit, and me and Marc are going to sit here and tell you it's a Michelin star movie as we cover Alien Resurrection.
Fuck yeah. My favorite franchise.
I love Resurrection. And
Resurrection, fantastic, man.
Yeah. So next week, that's going to be a load of fun. So tune in for that. Until next time, have a wonderful week. Do not forget about road beers.
How about a beer?
And we will see you next Tuesday.
See you next week, guys.
Bye-bye.
You want to die tonight?
You're on podcast. You're on podcast. Late at night, I tune into your show where you talk horror with a unique flow. Your voice is like sirens, draws me in as you pick apart movies on murder and sin. Scott and Marc set the scene. I hang on every word, lost in the screen. Your passion for fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Marc's fucking long round ups. Round up, round up, round up, round up, round up. You run podcasts, horror movie reviews, sharing facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after you fled.
Bold mustaches.
I ain't got no diseases. You mind if I have a drink?